Hey guys, welcome to Baking Butterly Love. In this video, I want to show you how you can make a cream cheese variation of a Swiss meringue buttercream. Now this version is going to be much softer than your standard Swiss meringue buttercream, but it's got really great flavor. And if you're looking for a cream cheese frosting that is just barely sweet and not too buttery, this could be perfect for you. Okay, so there are two important things that you need to know if you want to make a cream cheese Swiss meringue buttercream. The first thing that you need to know is what ratio of cream cheese to use, and then the second thing that you need to know is the method for mixing because it's a little bit funky. And by the way, if you haven't ever made Swiss meringue buttercream before, go check out this video that I have on the whole process for how to make that. You need to know how to make Swiss meringue buttercream, just the regular kind first, before you can make this cream cheese version. So we'll start off with that ratio that I mentioned. For what I think is the best flavor, I like to use a ratio of about 0.8 to 1 cream cheese to Swiss meringue buttercream. So that would be about 80 grams of cream cheese for every 100 grams of Swiss meringue buttercream. And you can go a little bit lower on the cream cheese if you want your frosting to be a little bit sturdier. You could go a little bit higher, but I found that the more cream cheese you add, the less that the whole mixture likes to mix together. It just doesn't stay together very well, and you're not really gonna get a lot more cream cheese flavor past that point, so that's why I stop at around 0.8. So if you head to the description below, you can find the recipe that I've written for you using this ratio, and it's gonna give you about 5 cups of buttercream. But I like to tell you that ratio so it makes it really easy for you to adjust to any amount of Swiss meringue buttercream that you might have. And just so you know that you could also use the same ratio with Italian meringue buttercream as well. All right, so now let's go over the mixing method. And the easiest way that I found to do this is to actually make your Swiss meringue buttercream first, completely separate on its own, and then mix that in with cream cheese. So here I have cream cheese. It's been sitting out on the counter for a few hours so that it can come to room temperature. I'm gonna put this in my mixer and beat it with a paddle attachment on about medium speed for just a few minutes until it gets really nice and smooth, nice and creamy, and it doesn't have any lumps. So if your cream cheese is at room temperature, this should go really quickly. And then here I have my Swiss meringue buttercream that I've already made. This is at room temperature as well. I've mixed it up with a spatula so it's nice and smooth and creamy. And then with the mixer still running, I'm just gonna go ahead and start adding the Swiss meringue buttercream into the cream cheese, a nice big spoonful at a time. You want to make sure that you stop periodically and scrape down the bowl, but other than that, it's really just beating with a paddle until everything is well combined. Now, the finished mixture isn't going to look as silky smooth as your normal Swiss meringue buttercream, but the texture when you eat it is going to be really nice and fluffy, and it's going to be less buttery. The soft consistency means that you won't be able to do any detailed piping with it, but you can get away with a little bit of simple piping like I'm doing here with this big round tip. I'm just doing a simple shell design. So you might be thinking, why would I go to the trouble and use an extra bowl and mix it this way rather than just throwing the cream cheese in with the Swiss meringue buttercream while I'm making it the first time? Well, there's a few different reasons. So number one, for whatever reason, it's just easier to mix cream cheese with something else if you beat the cream cheese and get it nice and smoothed out first. So if you're thinking maybe, well, you could just mix the cream cheese and the butter together first and then mix that with the meringue, which is kind of like what you would do with a standard cream cheese frosting. Yes, you could totally do that. But this sort of brings me to my next reason why I use this mixing method. So the second reason is that I usually like to make my buttercream ahead of time, and once you add the cream cheese, it doesn't really store and reconstitute as well. Like you can't really mix it together and get that nice smooth consistency again. So what I do is I make just the Swiss meringue buttercream, the regular part first. I can store that in the fridge or the freezer for however long I need to, and then when I'm ready for the cream cheese version, I can bring my regular buttercream back to room temp, whip it until it's smooth again, and then mix that with the cream cheese. And then finally, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that my favorite part of the whole cake process is the decorating part. But while this cream cheese frosting is really delicious, it's not good for any detailed piping at all. So the solution is to make a nice big batch of Swiss meringue buttercream, reserve a portion of the plain buttercream. You can use that for all your piping, all your pretty fancy decorations, and then use the remaining buttercream, mix that with the cream cheese, and that's your flavor buttercream that you're going to use to frost the main part of your cake. And guys, that's it for making a cream cheese Swiss meringue buttercream. It's really easy. It's almost so easy you don't really need a recipe. But if you have a different way that you make Swiss meringue buttercream with cream cheese, or like a different ratio that you use, leave a comment and let me know, because I'm really interested to see how other people do it. It doesn't seem to be a common recipe, but a lot of people ask for it. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.